Mighty with a hard-fought win, or sorry, hard-fought loss. They looked for the win in the late game there against an early game composition from MVP Black. Couldn't take the win, and now we are on match point. And we'll see if they want to go ahead and take that first ban and turn things around.
Well, MVP Black, of course, with more experience. I think they were out macroing hard from the beginning until the very end for Mighty. They were very pressured from losing their key from very early in the game. But still, overall with the team fight, I think Mighty really played a solid game of team fighting, especially good on that Malthael. Seems a little bit OP even with the balance patch. I gotta say those percent damage in the long sustained fights, it's really working for Mighty right now.
Yeah, and I mean Malthael looks pretty good, and they were almost able to take it with some really good fights there. But now it's time to start thinking about how you want to draft. Do you really want to run this double support Ariel comp against Black? They did it twice, didn't work either time. Are they going to stick with what they practiced and prepared here, or are they going to do something else?
I think game 2, from the beginning, they banned out Stitches and taking the Stitches out, which also Miracle has been really picking on to the first rotation. And oftentimes they're winning, so they got the first 2 picks. It was oftentimes support plus the Stitches. They like those hooks. They like to get those hooks and get the picks. But banning Stitches, I think it's working for Mighty. I think they should just keep it and go and see how they plan it out on depending on the battleground and just follow with that. I think that's a very good idea.
Yeah, that's a good plan. Sure, in theory, we'll see if Black allows them to draft around it, though, because Black is just so intelligent in draft, and it will be their map pick 3 for 3 here on Sky Temple. So we didn't get to see an MVP Cursed Hollow, but it's been banned against both MVP teams a lot in this second phase.
Yeah, that's right. One of their first maps, favorite maps when they want to snowball and finish the series. And this map also, lots of after bans, surprisingly, also coming in Korea, especially on this map. It was more towards MVP Black sometimes. Avatar is something to keep in mind as we go in. Even Resets Genji has been banned out from Black a lot of times. Maybe it will be open this time, but we're going into Sky Temple.
Well, see if we get to see that global theme from MVP Black. Malthael will probably be highly prioritized for them because of the strong solo lane. We've seen it already on this map. Genji going to be the ban here.
Same approaches, just like in game number 2, but banning out Stitches, I think it's a fine ban from the beginning.
They're just not going to change it up. Just going to keep the Ariel the same.
It's the sustained meta. All the supports are just so important right now.
We just see the TAS Uther again. I don't think so, but would love to see Rich's Illidan. I feel like they would have had an easier time with Illidan instead of Kerrigan in the last game.
Illidan, Avatar, that's still a very good chance.
Yeah. With
the global and
even though Avatar isn't really played on this map specifically, we've seen it actually several times already with Avatar's Rise, Illidan as well.
Going in with maybe Sake could also bring in some false set action with the global. Dehaka seems to be coming in a little bit later into the rotation when they need a global, so they don't have to pick it from the beginning. But I think Uther is a must pick from what we've been seeing so far.
I mean, other options are the Nubarak, but just gonna take Vala away. Just try to throw a wrench into the draft here for Mighty. Like, oh, we took Vala Tastar, so now you can't even play Vala with your Ariel. So what are you gonna do now? Cassia?
They did this exact move yesterday, bringing the Vala Tastar and faking that they are going into the Vala DPS. And when they actually, at the end, brought in Tracer. Tracer was the actual damage. Vala was going for the Q Vala, taking out all the Immortals. But this is, of course, a different battleground. Mighty, knowing that after watching that, they are not falling for it. They're going on their own way. They're keeping their theme together, stealing away and bringing their own Illidan. Nicely done. And also Cassia too, bring in the blinds if they go for all-in attack from Vala.
We saw a draft very similar to this actually from Miracle yesterday on Battlefield of Eternity. It was Illidan paired with the Ariel on the first pick, the double pick rotation on second pick for them. They went into Tyrael with the Cassia and had Lucio as their secondary support. Battlefield of Eternity specific draft though, you'd have to say. And I think a Tyrael ban here is quite strong, but I think Black wanted to maybe draft that themselves. Now it's not available for them, so they can just take it and ban something else. Another protecting hero for the Illidan. I think Tyrael is going to be their best bet for if Mighty is left it. So definitely going to have to do one of the two. Yeah, the Abathur ban is better. It's specifically for Illidan. Now they could take the Tyrael away. And it's kind of more like the opposite in a way of what you said earlier. Is like it looked like they wanted to maybe fake the Vala all in and drop a Tracer down at the end, but maybe now they actually do go all in on the Vala, take the Tyrael.
Yeah, that's the mind game that MVP Black wants to bring to the table when they go into the drafting.
Because now we could see Tyrael Uther. That's like not even out of the question here. It'd be insanely strong if you're going to go all in on the Vala. So would not even mind to see that now. Malthael was removed. So Rich still going to have to look to what hero he'll be playing here. Malfurion over the Uther pick. Yeah.
Narthas, of course, to counter Illidan before the last two picks of Mighty, so they can also steal Arthas from Black. They're still leaving. They could fill in with more CCs, or they could also bring in a strong mage to pair up. I mean, Illidan does take a lot of the mage, does cancel out all the auto attacks, but gets all the hit by all the target shots, so maybe they will also bring in Reset playing on Li Ming this time.
I think the idea for the Malfurion pick is going to be just for the silence, almost like literally.
Double support again from Mighty.
Yeah, of course, but were they going to close this one out with just toss the Muradin or again into this? Tyrael is still strong, you know, this is why I was saying Black would probably need to take it, and that's the start they're going to get. I don't understand why Black took Arthas first here. This doesn't synergize with what they're doing. It counters the Illidan in a way, but
I think that was basically the answer to your question.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of a mistake, though.
Also, very good solo lane too. So I think that's where they're trying to go ahead with the team fight on the stripe. But with this 5th pick, they need a lot of utility. This team comp does not have the global.
I think they need a mage. I think they need. I mean, it's rough to have solo tank Arthas, but I almost feel like they need like a Li Ming here. But with Cassia, the blinds for Vala, and really kind of a triple-esque support for Illidan and Cassie with the Tyrael coming in. Tyrael, Ariel, Uther, Aegis, Divine Shield. Like, Mighty has like almost a perfect draft. Like, this is almost what you want in a perfect world, everything considered. So
it's also weird for Black because Reset would likely to be playing in Vala, so yeah, there's a 0-2 coming in. So the hero pool was kind of weird because Sake had to be on Tastar. They couldn't really bring in Falstad, so there's 0-2 to counter everything with the Void person. That's their answer.
If they decided to go down the Li Ming path, for example, then Rich would have to play Tastar, which would be a horrible flex for him. It would really limit the value of Rich, who's the hard carry for MVP Black, most would argue right now. So definitely ended up getting the weird end of this draft. I like the draft of Mighty way, way more, but in practice, obviously, it can be a different story, especially with Rich on the Zeratul. We've seen him do work with that. Can Black close out the series here, or is Mighty, with this double support comp, going to bring themselves into a Game 4? Let's find out on Sky Temple. So, MVP Black, Reset on the Vala, Sake on Tassadar, Kyocha on Malfurion, Rich on Zeratul, and Tist on Arthas.
And in the red side, Mighty, Joker on Tyrael, BDG on Cassia, Good on Illidan, Nasang on Ario, and Magi on Uther.
Here we go.
Seems like Q-Vala Street will be coming out from MVP Black.
Oh, when you have blinds on the other side, you don't really put your eggs into the auto attack basket.
Tons of damage and blinds coming in, and this is the wipe for Illidan for sure. He wants to get the kills.
He's going to get it.
More. There's 3.
See ya. Well, this is not a good start for MVP Black on this map.
Yeah, which is a very good start for Mighty at the same time. And no Vopo Blade. Maybe it's a misclick coming out from Rich.
Oh my God. For 33% more radius?
Oh,
If I could choose not locking in my level 1 talent and choosing that one, I'd probably choose not locking in my talent. It's pretty useless in this situation. Tist is looking to win the 1v1 fight here. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a 1v1 anymore. Rich goes in, doesn't have the Vorpal, so he's going to have to make this count right now. And Tist will get the kill here. It's still going to be a 1-for-1. Pretty sure that Q would have hit even with the 33% extra radius there, but I mean,
let's see how that's gonna.
Let's see how it goes.
Out.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we're gonna.
This is when he goes
to get the calm in our ears that was a misclick, but
this is gonna be the gathering power, or is it? It's called Grim Task, I believe now for him. Everyone knows how much I love gathering power, so maybe we see the Mage Zeratul.
Maybe it's the new cleave build that we'll see coming out from Rich. Who knows? Maybe he wants to do all
Wait, is there a cleave build?
Yes. Against the AIs, I've done it a long time ago.
Yeah, me too. But let's see what happens. Okay, you know, it was probably a misclick, but gonna cost Black big in an already pretty wonky draft for them.
This is Trading Temple. For now, it is the cleave build. Maybe, well, we'll see. We'll just know after the interview. Let's just see it and full Q Vala coming out.
Well,
this is an interesting.
This is if they get if they get in the interview, man. Why not win the series? It's not over yet.
Maybe this is Rich just targeting Illidan when he dives in. The Q damage will hit Illidan for sure.
We talked about the Q build for Vala because of the blinds and the evasion from Illidan. This could be a similar story here for Rich, where he just wants to do a bunch of AP damage because the blinds counter his auto attacks. And the evasion does as well. So Q Vala, Q Zeratul. We'll know afterwards because he might just be building into this because he made the mistake. And he's like, well, I might as well do this build now because I misclicked on level 1. But yeah, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. But I think this is intentional based on the fact that he's continuing to build into it. Well, let's just wait and see.
And they do have a Q Vala, so they're just sustain-wise, I think they want to go all in with the burst damage. Maybe even with the Rain of Vengeance coming out from Vala, Mighty will look for a longer fight for sure with Illidan, with the double support coming in, with the extra protection with Sanctification later on. But Black seems to be, they want to finish the team fight in 5 seconds.
Oh, that was a sick Howling Blast. Remad. But this, like, the top push, especially because the Howling Blast is getting way less done than what the bot push here for Black is doing because they have Siege Giants. So I actually like this a lot more for Black. They're just going to try to get this fort here. They're going to get the Healing Fountain, which is more important in the bot lane than it will be in the top, assuming that Mighty will get that with this Bruiser Camp. Bruiser Camp never going to push as fast as the Siege Giant Camp. As we see Rich diving in here. Joker gets caught here in the root, actually, taken out. Nicely done. Rich is just going to clean up this mini wave. The Material Explosion doesn't hit anybody. I like this a lot, though, because Good is actually getting the mid push. This is good for them, but obviously, this is a much better exchange for Black, especially considering they got that kill in the bot lane.
It's a good trade, and more I see about from the talents of Zeratul. Wormhole.
Yeah,
actually.
Wormhole.
I think he intentionally is going for that cleave build to go and harass and just come back with the Wormhole.
Yep, as you can see here, exactly that. Wormhole going to give him so much more mobility for this kind of cleave harass. And when you take the Wormhole like this, you bounce in, you go out. When you get when we get 20, if this game goes late, if it gets rewind, you're going to see this guy, it's going to be hard to keep track of where he is. But you see a big root again here. And, okay, another one coming down. He's just hitting these left and right. When Twilight Dream happens, he's got these roots. This is going to be disastrous for Mighty. They're going to have to split against this.
Harass is doing some work.
They're caught here.
But Sustain is just so working well for Mighty. The double support, there's a harass. See, it does a lot of AoE damage, but the healing is so good on terms of Mighty's side. Illidan caught, rooted, double rooted, and he will be dead.
That was an overextension for Mighty. They will get a few shots for it, and they got the keep wall in the top lane, but this is a better exchange for Black because they got the pick, and they can go and deny this now. No healing fountain in the bot lane. Black, if anyone wanted to tap, they could. Just have all these advantages with lane. So 10 is going to be up in just a second here. Mighty's going to soak for it in mid. We see the collapse coming up. Look, Black is going to try to catch them here. And, ooh, a very sloppy rotation for Mighty. That could have been disastrous if Black was in better position. But still, just dismount everybody. Hold on to that temple for longer.
There's a hunt, and Black just hit level 10. There's a strafe coming out from Reset. He will pop that immediately, too.
Okay, Attainment Strike there, actually doing some extra damage. Rich not being there definitely weakens the position of Black quite a bit. And if you were getting excited that we might be seeing some Shadow Assault, think again. It's still going to be the Void Prison, but...
No way. But the Hunt already back on cooldown. Rich doing some harass with AoE damage. Seems like that will work a lot better with the Void Prison used later on. Good dives in for the moment. Not going to fully commit in. There's a good root coming out from Arthas. Tust root every single time, not just today. It's so solid all the time. It's one pick that you can trust from him.
Yeah, definitely. Even the solo tank Arthas is valuable when you make it happen like this each and every time. Sanctification is still available here for Mighty, but just feels ill-advised to take a fight here with no objective in sight. They wanted that pick. You see the Q coming in from Tist. He wanted to commit in. BDG very low. Heals are coming out. They actually have to use Divine Shield here to save him.
Ooh, that's a lot committed. Rich wants to come in and harass just like that. Even Aegis pop, and
he's caught by the root. Yeah. Root coming in. Obviously, every time you have an Aegis like that, you just put the root right on top of it. And because Rich was harassing, or not harassing, but pushing a little bit in the top lane, it's actually damaged quite a bit the top fort. These shots coming in from the tower as well, so that's a bunch of EXP available for Black. Very soon they can take. More harass coming out. The harass could also sometimes force a panic Aegis. We haven't really seen Mighty make that many mistakes today for panic type moves, but we've seen some misclicks from Nasong. He's definitely playing a little bit off today. So if he freaks out a little bit when the Zeratul comes in, might accidentally Aegis or something like that, because we've seen weird Aegis mistakes in both the games before this one. He's been playing nothing but Oriel tonight.
That's right, and some ancestral misclicks too. We've seen it in game number 2, I feel like. Even once, but that's all. And Sanctification, Aegis, and Divine Shield for Mighty. I think Illidan will do free damage for a long time. That's a lot of commitment for all the protection. I think Judgment was also an okay option now that Malfurion does not have cleanse. Maybe they can go in all spend everything onto Vala and wipe Vala off the map and start the game, start the team fight 4v5. I think that could have been an okay option. Yeah. But instead, they decide to go safely.
Especially because they are going to run Illidan on the Hunt. It wouldn't have been totally egregious to take that over the Sanctification, but Cassia also gets a lot of value out of the Sanctification. I like it overall because when you're trying to do that collapse on the volley, even with no cleanse, it feels risky with a double support. You might end up losing your Tyrael as he comes in. You don't have your front line anymore. So this is going to be a one fight for Black already here. The longer sustain for Mighty is real, but they just pushed off the Shrine now. Reset doing a massive amount of damage to mostly Joker there. And Good wasn't soloing the Shrine, so Black gets these shots for free, and when they finish it, they can rotate down to contest the last part of the shots. In fact, they're even going to send Tastar up to the top lane to clear this. So Sake is just going to go ahead and clear this, and then they can collapse down to get the last shots of the bottom temple. And they have the level 13 tier advantage just for, level 13 talent tier advantage just for a second.
Watching Reset on Strafe and just easy pressuring hard by himself, actually, because there aren't too many CCs available for Mighty. The stun, hammer stun, and basically few. The Tainment Strike can be real, but hold on to that thought as they're looking for a Void Prison used defensively.
Okay, here we go. Here comes the attack
continues. Rich comes in, does so much harass damage. Rich is lost, gets the protection, but here comes a Strafe.
Divine Shield too.
Twilight Dream.
Twilight Dream was really good here, but Good is actually collapsing and getting so much lifesteal. Rich just can't fight him with AP damage alone, as you guys could see, and Mighty is just going to crush this fight. Good gets the Aegis on him, actually cancels his Hunt there, and he will just get away for free. 10 seconds left on that Hunt cooldown, and Rich, when he was caught there, just couldn't be able to do anything in that fight. The Void was used defensively as a panic move there when he already used his Wormhole, didn't have an escape. Mighty's going to take this opportunity to boss. They have Sanctification, so even though it's a short respawn timer coming over here, it's going to be very difficult for Black to contest this zone. No Void Prison either, mind you.
Aegis was. Here comes the Hunt onto Arthas. They want to fully commit in as they're winning in numbers. There's a blind Arthas can hold for a while, but not too long.
At least he got his 5-man Howling Blast for good measure there on his way out. insanely the Howling Blast he's hit this game. That one was an easy one, it was a given, but they actually saved the boss. They buy enough time with Tist going in, Rich coming over again with a respawn here, and Mighty's just not confident enough, even with the Sanctification, to take it because of all the lost health from the repeated harass coming out from those cleaves.
This is insane. The sustain-wise coming out from Mighty is crazy. When Rich has to go in and harass, that's exactly when Mighty will go all in, because if you go all in, he can't be on the side and harassing continuously. He has to fall back with the team. So Black will be lacking all the damage because they will be solo trusting all the damage coming out from Vala, and it's Q Vala.
Yeah.
When the strafe is done, all the damage will be eliminated, and Good seems to be just having his fun time in the front line, diving in all the time.
Yeah. Once the damage is gone, the evade and the blinds from Cassia just make everything else a laughing stock. It's just a lull fest because you see the Good's there and everyone's attacking him, but he's got the blinds, he's got his own kind of self-blind with the evasion. He's like, oh well, what are you gonna do? Wait for your Q to come back up? All right, well I've already done what I was looking to do during that time. And that's why I feel like the draft for Black is totally countered by Mighty, and you can see it in action. We see these proper team fights where they're fighting on even footing. That one Black gets a sick rotation, or Tisk gets the 3-man Howling Blast, where they get the follow-up route. Most of Black's kills, the 3 that they have been picks in lane, but in team fights, Mighty is crushing it again. That's been the story of this series with the sustained healing. So Black is trying to take the macro approach, avoid the team fights. That's why you keep them splitting off the soak lanes, forcing Good to clear, as you can see here in top. And they had Sake split soak for that 16, so now they're fighting on an even talent tier here. You get the Howling Blast, but look at this, Hunt's coming in. Reset is the target.
Here's the Hunt, and Twilight Dream is real. Silence for such a long time. Divine Shield at the perfect timing, and Sanctification used. This is a big turnaround for Mighty right now.
Reset
all in.
Missed his Q actually completely there. Sent it to the wrong side. And those are the moments I'm watching in these fights, is where do his Qs go? Where does he do his damage? The silence was massive because it meant the Sanctification couldn't be used for so long, but better sustained healing coming out from Mighty. And it's really Rich who's trying to get the harass done, trying to do enough damage, but he can only do so much. Then the healing comes down, and they can't take the fight anymore. They used all their heroics for really only a few of the ones for Mighty.
And there's the Aegis to protect, and Vala already removed from the map. They will lack in damage. The sustain is so real from Mighty. There's Good harassing right now, not even rooted. Kyoto will be picked up. Rich, without mana, just has to go back home.
Black will not win this game off of team fighting. In fact, it might have just been taken, the game might have just been taken away from them. With the boss now completely available, this is going to be a keep for Mighty. They have a few more temple shots on the mid keep as well. Black just cannot win the team fights without getting picks. Fighting a straight up team fight is just not going to work, even with the perfect silence. Everything went well for them. Sure, Reset missed a Q. But beyond that, I mean, it was everything they were hoping for. It just isn't enough. Even though he went full Q, you see him harass over and over again. Rich is, because he's worried about the blind, worried about the evade with the Q build. But when he does that, he does, what, maybe 1/4 of the damage of Mighty, 1/4 of a health bar. Maybe he gets a second one, they're down to half health. But there are no kills, and Mighty has 2 supports. One with basically unlimited mana with the hope factor here, and the extra batteries they have in the Cassia and the Illidan. Constant heals, the armor coming out from Uther, and you just can't win against that sustain with the puny damage that Rich is able to put off. Reset's arrows, again, are doing a lot of damage. The strafe is the big one. They need to get kills directly. They can win the fight that way, but otherwise, the longer fight always goes to Mighty.
There's no one like Greymane to actually go in and get the kill for Black right now. They do a lot of damage, but sustain is just so real. There's a big Void Prison coming out just for the defensive use. They don't even care about the... They seem like they want to go a little bit more, but they're just going to take down the boss here.
Another way they could win a fight is if Rich is able to Void Prison the supports, kill everyone who's outside the Void Prison. That's another way to get those kills, get those picks. I think that was the idea with that Void Prison. Unfortunately, Uther did not get caught in it, and Mighty's able to just casually walk away here. They're going to commit into Good, but yet again, he just evades here, has the healing now that he gets back in the fight. Look at this sustain here, and now they're going to walk into the Sanctification. Tist is caught, and the strafe is not doing enough damage. Silence here will hit Tyrael.
Only one, though. There's the Divine Shield, and Good is having his time of his life right now, hitting down on that Arthas, and without Arthas, no tank on the front line on the MVP Black. Wow, that was well done. Exactly, the root was placed from Kyocha to zone out the entire team, and Tyrael popped Sanctification perfectly on top, so they just walked through that route.
I feel like this draft is now fully exposed for Black, though. I mean, this is just domination on the side of Mighty. And Black, because they didn't get an early keep, I'm not entirely sure how they're going to try to win this game. Look at what they're doing right now. They know winning a team fight is almost out of the question, especially with Art this year. So again, they take the macro approach. They're going to take the Siege Giants. I don't know the timer on the red Siege Giant cap, or the stolen one on blue side. If that's about to come up, they're probably going to grab that too. They get the double Siege Giant pressure bot to try to get that keep. Maybe that's one way into the game for them, but taking a straight 5v5 team fight just seems like it is never going to work with how this game has been going so far. They do try to collapse down here and catch Tyrael and Cassia. Maybe take a 5v3 as Illidan's in the top lane, but he can always hunt back in. He's got level 20 now. He's got the upgrade.
Seems to be tanking Ariel and Uther seems to be the winning equation for now for Korea.
Here we go. Hunt's coming in. Reset's caught. Does survive here with all the healing coming out from Kocha.
There's no Twilight Dream for 4 seconds, and Rich barely survives
Look at
with
that
the Void
Void.
Prison.
But there's no follow-up combos, really. Strafe's on cooldown here. The Archon.
There's a Twilight Dream. Actually gets multiple targets. There's a few kills coming out. The macro and the aggro from Black is real, but the sustain with
Look
the
at the sustain. 3v5. Look at what they're able to do.
Still alive.
Good is just going to turn this one around, even with that combo there with the Twilight Dream. The Divine Shield, Rich with the sick blink here with the wormhole, getting away. And they actually do survive here. But I mean, that was a really well-fought battle by Mighty. They knew also with Redemption that Magi was going to come back in the fight. Here's the hunt coming in. There's going to be a double.
They get the kill.
Nope, actually, Coach has Ice Block. Didn't use it in that fight.
That was good. That was... We're just looking for more. That was... down on talent, down the 20 level talent team fight. So for MVP Black, that was well done, well placed.
Yeah. Well, it was a risk to take the fight at all, and what they were able to accomplish is insane. So the bot pressure that was going on throughout all of this is now dealt with. It didn't last long enough to get a massive value there on the keep, because the keep wall even was up, so and the lane wasn't pushed. But now Black is fighting keepless. So we saw them win on game number 2 with a comp that was designed for early game, the Kerrigan, the stuns, a composition that's weak in late game. They struggled. We went to a 30-minute game, but they came out on top. Now they have the weaker team fighting comp in late game here. They're down in kills, they're down in scaling, they have no keeps left. Backs against the wall, bare bones here. They have the bare minimum that you can have to survive in a game of Heroes of the Storm. Can they come back this time? That's the big question. Boss up in 35, Sanctification available. Not going to really be the target here for Black, but you have to assume that Mighty is looking for a potential collapse onto that to grab it, to maybe end the game with it.
I think Rich and also Black may have been waiting for this moment. Cleave, Void Prison, Cleave, Rewind, Cleave. That's a lot of AoE damage.
That's what I was talking about. Once he gets Rewind, he's basically, you can't even see him how quickly he's going to be moving, blinking, wormholing, blinking again with the Rewind, wormholing again. Surprised that Mighty does not try to force the team fight on the boss. Instead, they kind of chased MVP Black to the top, missed their opportunity there, and now just kind of awkwardly clearing the top lanes. The lane pressure will eventually hit with Illidan clearing that top lane from the catapults, but surprised they didn't take the more direct route. Now Black already has time to set up on this boss, so they're going to have the positional advantage. Knows the positioning here of Black all spaced out right now.
It's from the other side, doing some harass, but of course with the one actually.
Ooh, that's huge.
That's big. That's really big. But they are winning the macro fight, and yeah, with all the keeps down from Black's side, so I think that they can buy a lot of time, especially with the hunt coming out from Illidan, because he can pressure all the lanes he wants to and join the team fight whenever with the hunt.
So they get actually both Siege Giant caps here, and that's going to push the bot lane, force Mighty to deal with that right now, which is going to relieve some of their pressure, but this is awkward now because they have to deal with the top pressure coming in, those catapults, and the double temple.
Black will, of course, go toward the bottom one because their bottom lane is pushing and the boss is nearby at the same time. So they can fake temple and go for the boss and try to push all the way in. It's up to them, but Mighty is being super defensive right now. They could be a little bit more offensive and start the teamfight if they want to really bait in, because they are winning. They cannot lose the macro fight right now with all the keeps.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's impossible that in that way, or at least for the time being, right? Rich does go up here to harass Good. In this 1v1 fight, though, it's going to be difficult for the Templar to win out, especially with Hunt available. Has to use Void Prison. This was a huge mistake by Rich. He will likely go down here. He has one more chance.
Uther OP, are we going to see it? The hammer!
There you go.
There we go.
doesn't get his blink in time, unfortunately. Trying to take that 1v1 fight was never going to work. I think Black has almost just conceded this game. There's no real good move for them right now, and Mighty just made all the right decisions, won the team fights. They won this game in draft. Black tried to make it look like it was going to be a close one. We saw the Q build from Vala. We saw the cleaves coming out from Zeratul. But at the end of the day, this is Black's last chance. Big Twilight
nice
Dream,
Twilight Dream, though. They can get multiple kills,
God.
but the backdoor will be real. 47%
okay,
left on the court.
They need to Hearth home, like right now, they need to Hearth home. Yesterday, Sake is going to Hearth home here. Try to maintain that Twilight Archon. Oh, Illidan's mobility, though, may just be too good. Shield goes down. Let's see if Good can actually backdoor this and make this happen. It's actually getting very low. 26%. He has the evade. Jumps away.
Too, and Uther dies at the same time. MB Black is pushing on the other side. 17%.
No catapults. No catapults there. Not yet. Joker is going to go down here. Mighty gets the triple. Zeratul going down. Sake has to clear these catapults. He will. Gets the shields on the core to help protect it there. Yeah, the extra slows. The Twilight Archon maintaining that.
That's right. It will never end if you keep on doing the basic
This isn't
attacks,
over yet, though.
It.
This isn't over. They have to go and deny this right now, these temple shots. Black needs to get down there and deny that. Malfurion's at the top. We are going to see the shots going in. The shots are going in. They need to get there. BDG goes down. They need to get on there. They need to get on there. The Holy Ground with a block. Joker with a block with the Holy Ground. And they win the game. Mighty will take their first win of the series.
Wow.
What a sick play there at the end. Illidan with the backdoor doing just enough.
They had all the back rows. They just had to get it together, and the last temple phase was just unfortunate for MVP Black. It was just so far away. Rich had to commit. You can see it on his face. It was just unfortunate at the very end. They were just out macroed. I love the big macro plays coming out from Mighty with the double support. I know a lot of you are disappointed because we're seeing too many supports, but I am loving these long team fights because we can see more macro, the team play. The longer the team fight goes, we can see the teamwork coming in more. And for right now, Mighty, of course, the cleave build from Zeratul, I think that cost him a little bit, but I think it could have worked at the same time against the double support.
I think it was still the right build to go, but I think the draft was garbage. They went all the way into a place where there was no way out, and because of, as you said, Rich was like, oh, I'm not going to play Tassadar, so I'm just going to play Zeratul, and they could have just had a solid mage, and they could have put Rich on the Tassadar, but I don't think he was willing to do that.
It was the perfect spot for Global. Dehaka, Kyocha played before, but Kyocha's support now. Sake, he's playing to Tassadar, so I don't think anyone else wants to play Tassadar. I don't think anyone else is as good as Sake on Tassadar. So it was a very weird draft coming out for MVP Black.
You just can't kill Illidan. You can't. He has evade. He has the blinds coming in from Cassia. You're doing AP damage on a Q build for Zeratul, which is like Mage Zeratul, which isn't a thing because it's not strong. Because as you saw, it doesn't do a lot of damage. And you're doing that into a double support composition. So even though you're doing this P shooter damage every time it goes in for the harass, they can't get the picks. The Twilight Dreams coming out for Kyocha almost won them that game. Almost. They were so close to having those opportunities to